Have you ever been treated poorly or had people make assumptions about you just because you're young? I know I have. And I don't think it's okay. Hey guys, it's Dan and welcome back to another video. Hope you all are doing well. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support on my last few videos. I really appreciate it. But today I want to talk about how sometimes being a young adult sucks and why that is and what I think causes it. So the inspiration behind this video comes from a TikTok that I saw. It was actually about a lady posting to kind of show the damages on her Airbnb. And she was talking about how she had some young adults, some young guys come and stay at her Airbnb, and she was worried that they were going to have completely destroyed it. She had mentioned how these guys were in their early to mid 20s, and she thinks that they would probably come in and rip all the sidings off the wall and like basically destroy the entire building to where it had to be gutted and completely rebuilt. The only thing that would have been salvageable would have been probably the foundation and maybe the frame of the house, was how she was kind of putting it as it started. So she was kind of talking about how kids always destroy things and you can't have anything nice when kids are around. And as she was going through the property, she slowly realized that they had left the place in perfect condition. And she kept going on and on about how, oh, these kids' parents must have raised them right. They don't normally do this. They were just one off. It was a fluke kind of thing. And she was getting beat up in the comment section. She was getting completely destroyed by the people that had watched the TikTok that may have been younger kids and some were some older ones. And it was kind of nice to see. They were talking about how usually it's not the kids that are the problems. It's a lot of the times the adults that come with them that are the problem, and they're the ones that are rude and whatnot. She was just getting absolutely destroyed. And it kind of put this idea into my head about being kind of discriminated against because of you being young. I know that for me, I've experienced this most specifically at restaurants. Whenever I want to go somewhere and have a nice meal, I typically kind of get treated by the staff in a kind of nasty way. It's gotten a lot better as the years have gone on, but it's specifically at restaurants. Typically when I go in, the waiter or waitress would come over, they'd get my drinks, then they would leave and bring those to us. They'd get our food, and then I wouldn't see them again until it was time for them to drop off the check. And 9 out of 10 times, they honestly weren't super friendly. They would just be like, what do you want? Cool. And then they come back. What are you going to eat? And then they would leave. And once they brought our food, they would not come back again. So hopefully you were ready for a refill by the time that they dropped off your food, because if you weren't getting another drink. As well, they didn't really care if they made any mistakes. If your food was wrong, that sucks for you. I don't really care. And it bothered me a lot. I don't know if it was because they thought I wasn't going to tip and they just were going to give me the bare minimum, which I'm one of those people, if I get really good service, I will tip very well. I try not to go out, especially to restaurants, and eat very much just because it is kind of expensive. But when I do go, I do anticipate tipping a waiter or waitress very well and making sure that they're very well taken care of, because it's their job. They are living basically off of the tips. So when I do go out to a place like that, I expect really good service in order to get a really good tip. And when they do treat me poorly, I'm not afraid to give them a singular dollar and leave. If they are just nasty to me, they don't come back, I don't feel bad about it. But at the same time, I will leave a $20, $30 tip if you are a phenomenal waiter or waitress. And that could be on a $15 ticket. Like, I will tip you what you deserve and how you treat me. I think where a lot of this stems from is there are some shithead kids out in the world. There are some that are going to destroy things. They'll be obnoxious. They don't tip and they may be rude. There are some people like that, but I feel like they are the exception more than the rule. I do think the world's kind of changing and they're becoming a little bit more prominent, but that could also just be due to the fact that social media is kind of promoting them. And of course, these are kids, young adults, their brains aren't fully developed, so they do see these trends and for whatever reason decide to go ahead and follow along with them. But I don't think the vast majority of young adults, late teenagers and stuff like that are going to be just complete heathens to the world. There are some kids that actually do have some self-control and are able to take care of themselves and be able to be respectful. Whereas the same can be said for adults. There have been a lot of times that I have had bad experiences with real quote unquote adults. Almost 100% of the time I've had a bad interaction anywhere that I have worked customer service, it has been with a quote unquote real adult, somebody in their late 30s to 40s to 50s and above. They are the ones that I have most of the problems with. They will scream at me. They will try and get something for nothing, and they want it their way, even if it's wrong. Thankfully, I haven't had to work for tips, so I can only imagine what it's like to have to deal with them where your real paycheck is dependent on how they feel about you and they change per day. But I've had multiple people at my job and especially in automotive where they call in and they scream like they've run over something and completely shredded their tire and drove on it at being flat and caused even more damage. And they scream at me saying it wasn't like that when they dropped it off. I'm like, well, unfortunately, there was no rubber on the rim when you brought it into us. So we couldn't have taken a tire off, nor did we drive it for several miles and wear the rim down to the point that you need a new one. That's not us. That was simply you. We did not drive your car. It has just been brought in. Like, I don't know what you want from me, but that's not how you're going to treat me. And that is one of the benefits of the jobs that I have worked is I can get away with being, that's not how you're going to treat me. And if that is how you think you are going to, congrats, go fuck yourself. And I can hang up the phone or kick them out of the store. They're the ones that I've had most of my problems with. And with that, I don't think kids necessarily are the problems. Most young adults in my line of work have been friendly. They will take care of the staff and are more willing to work with you and be understanding. And they may not always tip well, but a lot of them are poor when it comes to customer service, as in restaurants and things like that. There are a lot of them that just aren't really getting by. And I think that's kind of the same for the world. Most people aren't really doing well financially right now. And I can attest to that. And it's hard for a lot of these people to go out and especially to go to a nice restaurant and tip super well. I mean, I'm one of the people that I try not to go out very much. And if I do, I will usually get a small meal and maybe a drink or two. And it's something that I can't afford, but I'm not going to go out to the nicest restaurant in town because I know that it's already going to be pushing the envelope for the price of the food, nor do I feel like I can financially support the waiter or waitress that is taking care of me. So I don't go to those places. But there are a lot of people that are struggling, and sometimes you do want to go out and you do want to have a nice meal. And as long as you take care of them, I feel like that's a little bit more understanding and try to tip as much as you can without bankrupting yourself. I get it. Most people are struggling, so I'm not going to really hold that against just the kids, but they do predominantly have lower paying jobs. So it is hard for them to have that expense to pay more. I do think that as long as your server isn't a jerk, you should always try and tip them. There's been very few instances where I've just paid for the bill and left. And it's mostly the ones where I've had to serve myself and basically to the point that I become a Karen, which is thankfully very few and far between. But yeah, I think you should take care of your server to the best of your ability. I think that's where a lot of this problem lies with the whole younger generation is there is this mantra, this interpretation that these kids are going to be rude, they're going to be disrespectful, they're going to destroy things instead of actually giving them a chance. I feel like if you allowed younger adults to take the chance and kind of allow them in, you would be surprised how many of them actually do take care of things. I feel like it's going to be kind of offsetting from what you initially thought. There are going to be some, but it's the same with adults. I think as long as you don't discriminate against them, like I said previously, most of them are friendly. Most of them will take care of things. And especially if they are younger and you do take care of them, that could be a customer for life if you are running your own business because they are young, they are relatively impressionable. And I know that for me, the places that have gone and taken care of me, a lot of them are in a different state now since I moved away. But every time I do go home, they have me as a lifelong customer. I go in, I say hi, I get the same thing, and I make sure that those people are treated well because they took care of me, and I would rather go back to them as opposed to trying something new or someplace else that isn't going to treat me the same. And I think that speaks volumes when you take care of them, and especially in today's world, they are probably going to recommend your business. I know that I've told several people, like when they've gone to my neck of the woods, because there is a touristy location nearby, I'm like, hey, try this place and this place and this place. Do not go to A, B, and C, though. They will treat you terribly. I will recommend the places that have taken care of me and the places that are good to people in my age bracket. And honestly anyone in general. And I will tell them to stay as far away as possible from the places that have treated me like shit, because I don't want anyone to go and give them their business. Now, I know that it isn't necessarily fair to basically judge a place off of one employee. I understand that, but there have been some places where I have spoken with others and that's how the staff has treated all young adults, and I won't give them a second chance at all. If that's your mantra, I don't care. You're on your own. But I'd recommend helping these young kids and allowing them to have a chance, especially when they are good ones. It helps them know that their good actions are appreciated and will be valued in the future, and helps them to come back, and it helps them to know that they're a valued customer and they will come back in the future. So definitely take that chance and don't fall to the trap that all kids are shitheads. They are all terrible. They're always going to destroy stuff. They aren't going to take care of your place, your products, your services. They're just going to destroy it all. Because I don't really believe that that's the truth. There are a lot that will, but there's even more adults that are like that. And they're the ones that you need to watch out for, because they will try to fight you tooth and nail. Most kids, if they do screw up and you call them on it, they're, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. And we'll kind of get by. So I would recommend taking the chance on those younger adults, because they kind of get the short end of the stick. And being one myself, I know how it is. And I kind of wish somebody would take the chance on me when I was younger and kind of allow me to show that, hey, I'm not a dirtbag. Yeah, I may wear a flat billed hat occasionally, but I'm going to treat you well. I'm going to take care of your things and treat you with the same amount of respect that you treat me. So with that, you guys, definitely give those younger adults a chance and don't just hate on them for being young. A lot of them are more respectful than some of the older people around you. But with that, you guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. It's just kind of a idea that popped into my head and something I feel like needed to be talked about, because I've seen so much hate on younger adults, and being a younger, well, mid-20s now, but being in their shoes at one point, I kind of hate the hate that is going on with it, because it's just not right most of the time. But with that, you guys, I hope you did enjoy. If you want to see more videos from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And if you did enjoy this video, hit that like button. It helps me to kind of know who's watching these videos and what kind of content you guys enjoy. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.